Hey, how you doing? Every time I do one of these, tea I made this morning, this little flask still is keeping it warm. Yeah, it's my wife's workplace, Midwest Transplant Network. But every time I do one of these, this time I had problems. They were problems of my own making, mostly relating to using a mirrorless camera, my Sony Sony Alpha 3600. No, not 36. What is it? 3300. It's the older one. They don't make it anymore. It's one of the what do they call those? APS-C cameras, not full frame. I don't know what APS-C stands for. Anyway, don't want to get caught in the weeds of technology, but it doesn't really work for this purpose. The picture quality is beautiful. That's too bad. But the first problem is does not like external power. When you plug in, the only way to provide external power to this stupid thing for now, there's another way I could do, but I haven't bought it. So the external power from the USB tells the camera you're trying to hook up a computer, and it says it's not compatible, and it sits there on a black screen saying that it's not compatible instead of like showing you a video picture, which is what you want. Second problem is, so I had to unplug that. And then the second problem was, in the middle of the service, the camera quit on me because it overheated. Those cameras are known for their overheating issues. And then the third issue was, let me switch from my ugly mug. I don't like looking at myself. The third issue was the battery died. So the camera actually quit on me twice, once on the air. Once I was switched off of it, but once on the air, so. There has to be some things done with it for it to work. One of the things I might do is I might get a frame for it, and the frame includes an internal fan, which will help with the overheating issues, but I don't know if it'll solve it. The other is to buy a power supply for it, like a 12 volt or something, see if they have one that you can plug into the battery slot, so you're not relying on batteries, you're hooked into real power. But again, that generates a lot of heat. The more you use it, the hotter it gets, and then it shuts down. Sony's have been known for that, and a lot of these small little mirrorless cameras have this issue. The new Sonys apparently will run for a long time. But who has $3,000 plus to spend on a camera body to get that? I mean, the picture quality would be unbelievable, and there's other problems with those too. And then afterwards, I got in a conversation with somebody about the history of little I know about the history of cable networks. I was explaining, why I was trying to experiment up until Easter. I'm doing all this experimentation, trying to get to the configuration I'll use at Easter, and trying to figure out what I can do and what I should do and what I shouldn't do. And so every time I do one of these, it's different. I'm doing something completely different. And one of the things that led to the conversation was why we were talking about the MoFi and what the MoFi does, which gives me a Wi-Fi signal I could use for my wireless switcher. And I said, the wireless switcher has problems too. It's line of sight. The signal isn't always strong enough. It can glitch and lock up, and part of the problem with that is that there are very powerful Wi-Fi signals in Midtown Kansas City, and I'm thinking, although I don't know this 100% for sure, but I'm thinking part of the issue is you have these cable companies that have gone into broadband, and they're really got these powerful signals because they could put Wi-Fi transmitters on transmitter receivers on every pole they have in town, or every place. So, they have this advantage. And, and I say, I feel like it's almost a deliberate blocking of people. Like you'll be going down the road and your cell phone turned on, and all of a sudden, if you have the Wi-Fi turned on in the background, which most people do, all of a sudden you've lost your Google Maps, or you've lost whatever app you're using that's trying to transmit data back and forth to servers, because it's being blocked by this powerful cable company, which essentially wants you to subscribe to them for a monthly fee of probably no less than $200, which most people wouldn't want to do. They have cable at home, they're not going to use broadband, so they could. And I said, the crux of it all, I said, this is what I believe. I believe that there should be a nationwide Wi-Fi network owned by no one that we all can use. And it would be like a internet superhighway that everybody has access to, that has a device we don't have to pay into as part of, and essentially we just treat it like part of our infrastructure. And the reason why we would want that, not that we want a bunch more, Nazi hillbillies trying to take over the government because they listened to some crackpot conspiracy theory. But the reason we really want that is it gives access to people who need access. And it should not be just for the rich. And it's another one of those issues. I think, giving people access to information should be a national priority. And we can create a nationwide Wi-Fi net. Nationwide Wi-Fi superhighway. I think we should. I think we could. And anyway, so I've been fighting this battle for a long time. It's like how we have actual corporate censorship of things, and corporations essentially owning things that they don't have a right to. And no, it's no more socialist than roads and highways, or anything else that actually helps. This would help for the free market more than hurt it. So anyway, that's my take. Ooh, time for coffee.